Alright, welcome back. Let me turn this down a little bit. So, back in the shop working on the F-22 today. I kind of slid the rear end section on with the motors. And currently struggling to get rolling. It's in one of those kind of like deciding on where things are going to go phase. So, it just takes a little time because I'm trying to do things a little different than last time, but so that's kind of where I'm at. I've got all the airlines ran to the nose, and I was just about to glue in some more airline tidy strips when I just noticed something. So let me find one here. So this might be kind of hard to show you guys, but nothing crazy here. It's kind of focusing on my face. If I could get it to, let me turn it off. Here, give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry. Let's see if I can. I'm just gonna do this. All right. So, ooh, let me pause it. That's a good song. So the traditional. Oh, wow, that's not working at all, is it? Cancel that. So. I'll just kind of hold it. So there's a traditional tidy strip. That's a lot of work for nothing. So see how it's kind of thick, and then you just glue them on. You trim them however you need. Well, I didn't realize it, but I was out of what I had out here in the shop, so I had to go back in and pull some from my stock. And I don't know if you can see that, but this is the new style that MAP makes. Look at that. They're real thin in the middle, and so it's easier to do this with and conform it to things versus this thick thing. These could be done, but you have to melt them a little, heat them up a little bit to shape them, to get them to kind of form to a round. But these, man, they're thinner in the middle and thinner across this T, so it makes it real easy to do that. And I just wanted to show you guys that. See, they're kind of real thin now versus the thick. I like that. I think that's kind of a cool thing. So a little bit lighter, a lot stiffer than these. So these are easy to kind of trim and clip and move into places. So from now on, I'll be using these. Didn't know that until I went and grabbed some. The servo, they make tidy strips for servo wire too. And he's changed, these are made by MAP, Model Aviation Products. And I looked at them. I still have some of the old style, but all the new ones that I got in for stock are this new style. And the servo ones are the same. They're not this old thick one. It's a new style that's a lot thinner and more flexible. I like that. So never really used the servo ones much, but I'm definitely going to use it on this one in a couple places where I got like in the tail, and then on my other jets I'm going to use these as well. So just want to show you guys that. So what else we got going on here? So I've used this same bracket from my last F-22. It's just a piece of G10 material. These are the pumps. And it's going to be hard to see. Let me back it out here. But I'm going to mount. Let's see if you can kind of get in there. You can kind of see. All right, so right here, there is this bulkhead, which the gear will come and sit through it. And this is going to sit right here, just like that, facing up. It'll stay out of the way of the gear, and then the UATs will sit just like this. Oop, can't see. Sorry, let me zoom out. Oop, wrong way. So this is where the equipment tray is going to be, right in this area that I took. I've got it taken. It's sitting over here. So this will go right here in this area, and then the UATs will mount on top of that, one on each side, and then the pump will be just like this, kind of behind it. So the connected to the fuel tank, fill line, and then this is what goes to the pump. So it'll come out of here. I'll have my filter, and I'll put it over on this side like this because I want it to be vertical. You know, you don't have to do vertical, but it's real easy for air bubbles to get trapped in these things. So if you mount them vertically, it will always pull the air out of it, as long as you know. And the same for pumps. It's not a huge problem, but you know, air bubbles can get accumulated and develop in any little angled area. So I'm mounting my pumps vertical and my air or fuel filters as well. So yeah, but that's kind of how those two things are going to go. And then my shutoff valves, I'm using these MAP. Well, these aren't MAP. I don't know where I got these, but these are a plastic style. It's a three-piece that you glue together, and you can 3D print this crap. You know, I know people that make a good little bit of money, or some extra money, I should say, 3D printing all this stuff. And I have a 3D printer, and that's kind of why I bought it. I'm just not any good at CAD yet, but I'll get there eventually when I get some time. And I got a resin printer that I'm going to be using to do like detailing parts. So like all these things that you see that Skymaster prints for their jets that just look horrible and their cockpit stuff, I'm going to eventually get to where I can just print my own stuff. And who knows, maybe I'll do like other people and sell them. But yeah, that's all that is. And these are going to mount in the turbine in the back bay, so I can shut the fuel off when needed. It will not be on the suction side. It will be on the pressure side because that's just how the setup's going to work. If I had like a nose comb or something up here, or something that was easy to get to, I might put these on the suction side as well. But I've run them on both suction and pressure side. So I kind of rather have a Festo fitting on the pressure side. I don't like a suction on the Festo fittings. I'd rather have a barb. So these are actually a barb. These Festo filters are a barb. And being plastic, you always want to put them on the suction side, not pressure. Metal doesn't really matter. But anything on the suction side, I would rather have a barb. You know, I get it, especially if you use Tygon. You know, a lot of people don't like to use Tygon, but if you're using Tygon, there's nothing wrong with it. It just hardens. But when you have it on something like a barb, it's perfectly fine because when it's on the suction side, it won't collapse. But if you, if you have it in a Festo, and you get some kind of restriction and that pressure builds, it could collapse the Festo, or collapse the Tygon. And then with Festo, you always want to use the clear fuel-proof fuel line, which is it's stiff compared to the Tygon. But I would still keep it on the pressure side. Try to use barbs on suction, and Festo on pressure if you want to. Plus, if you're going to use Festo on air, on like the vent side, it's not as critical because if it sucks air on the vent side, that's kind of what it's there for. You just don't want it sucking air on the fuel side of the house, so you start sucking air. But that's kind of what I want to show you guys. I'll take this off and kind of give you a kind of a rundown what's going on here. Alright, so like I said, drill the two holes. The pump mount rack will mount right there where those two screws are, and then it's basically sits flush with the top here, so it stays out of the way. Each pump is right here. Tray, UAT, and then nothing else really right here because the cockpit sits right here, and then you got this little black cover that goes right here. So there's really no way to get in here unless you take this off and take the cockpit out. So you don't have a lot of room to put stuff on that equipment tray, and if you do, you got to keep it low profile. So I may put the UATs are back here out of the way. The fuel pumps are going to be here so I can actually get access to them, And last time I had fuel filters and hubs right here, but the fuel filters will still be here. They're just not going to be on this tray. I used these kind last time, and yeah, they work okay, but they are a little bit more restrictive. These older inner air co filters, but they got a lot more restriction to them than a regular just Festo filter. So it seems like these newer engines seem to be more susceptible to pressure changes. So I'm not going to use these anymore. Granted, I used them last time mainly for weight, but I'm probably not going to use them anymore. But okay, so moving back on. So the fuel lines will come back here, and then I'll mount my, where are they at? Last time I had them, like some are right here, but I'll probably just put them, mount them right here so you can get to them really easy. And like I said, I got the tail section on with which has the engines back there. Ran the lines forward, so I'll have the elevator, rudder, stab, rudder, and thrust vectoring, and then the same on this side. And then this is the slime light or formation lights on the rudders. So. And I'll have two big leads that are going all the way down to about right here, which is where the terminals are that these will plug into for the S-Bus. And then I'll have another one ran back behind this fuel tank. And you'll have these short leads that will come out right here for the leading edge flap. And then you'll have another wire come out here, another short one come out here with the lights for the wings. So this will be the flap connection, and the leading edge flap will be up here with the two Airlines. So that's kind of the same setup as before. And you can see you got all the Airlines ran, and see these are even the thicker tidy strips than what these new ones are. See, these are like I said, now that I got the camera off, you can see probably see a little better. See, they're nice and thin. That's hard to see. There you go. Nice and thin versus a solid thick piece like these. I almost wanted to pull these back off once I saw this, but they're already glued in. So I got a 4, a 4, and a 4 here. Sorry, 4, 4, and a 4 here just to hold these in place. And these will kind of be out of the way under the fuel cell, because the fuel tank comes all the way back and sits here. And I may secure these just so they're not in the flapping around and possibly get cut or something. Because these going out here on the sides is just for that main gear door that's on the wing. So, all right, a lot of talking. 13 minutes. Yeah, wow. All right, so I'm gonna shut up. Like I said, having a little people keep coming over and staying for a night or two, and it just makes me, I can't get out here and do anything. So that's why it's kind of going slow, and I seem to be lacking some motivation today. I kind of just want to go inside and just vegetate, but I won't get anything done, so I'm trying. So anyways, you guys take it easy, and I'm going to get back to it. Dang, almost forgot about this. So riddle me this, peoples. So the German guys that make the Jetronics, they sell these air filters. It's an air trap. It's a moisture trap. It's got a little, you see these a lot of times on people's pumps, air pumps. It's just a moisture trap, and it plugs in like a Festo type fitting. Well, they sell these to run, you put them in line from your air source going into your air valve to keep any trash and moisture out of your valve. A lot of people do this as they fill the air tanks, but I think they still get moisture in them. But that's what the intent of these is to put from your air tank to the valve. And I'm just curious if anybody's ever done that, because you're probably going to need, essentially you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these mounted in there, or just however many, like if you've got 3 separate air tanks and you're using 2 for one, whatever, you know, just one on the out of the air tank, I guess. So that would be the best way to go. So you wouldn't have to put so many. So you could just do, if you've got 4 air tanks and they're all tied into one line coming out that you're teeing off, then you could put one in there. But it's a failure point, but it is a way to protect your air valve. But I've never really had much of an issue with that. So I'm just curious. I have a bunch of these, and it has like a little lock on it, and you change the filament when it gets old and crusty. I'm just kind of curious what people's thoughts are, because you know, the method behind this for Jetronics is to put it in your system, but we all just use it on our air pumps. So what do you think about that? Has anybody ever actually set up their system and put these in the model? That way it catches anything that might be, you know, moisture that accumulates in the air tank. It's just like an air compressor. You know, you're supposed to drain your air compressors, you know, because of the air accumulates inside there. But I'm just curious if anybody's ever done that, because I don't really want to do that, but I thought about it, you know, I mean, trying it just to kind of see how it worked out, but it is another failure point that I don't think I really want to worry with. But I'm just curious if anybody's ever done it and how they did it, and pros, cons, things like that. So let me know in your comments, man. And I'll shut up now because we're at like 16 minutes. So I'm trying to keep it short with these just, hey, what's going on videos. The live videos will obviously, you know, are going to be longer. And that's just because I'm working as I go. So, but you guys have a good one, and I'm going to get back at it. Cheers.